Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Round 7. How you doing? Today is a little bit different. Today's a little bit different. Today, I want to take some time to recognize that sometimes I make a few mistakes, right? Because we're going to be going over my defense, and that's full of mistakes. But before we get to that, I want to recognize that when I talk about these characters, sometimes I get their names wrong, right? Because a lot of these characters are maybe older or newer, and I'm just not used to saying their names. So let's take a minute to recognize some of the characters we have on the list. Like, whoops. Hold on, I got to get this queued up because it's not working right. Okay, like Researcher. You know, this is a character that I kind of scroll across once in a while and I tend to get their name wrong. Or Assaulter, or even Aim Security, or Researcher. I like to try and get things accurate, but every once in a while I'm so hopped up on coffee that I make a few mistakes. Now, the AIM team is a great and fun team. They're kind of low level and low power, but it's a fun team to play with. But don't mistake them for Hydra characters like Trooper or Scientist. These are great characters too, and they work really well with that Red Skull defense to die and revive. I play with them all the time. One of the characters who we never see anymore, who really fell off, is Operator. Now, Operator is a frustrating character, or at least she was, but anymore, we just never see her because there's just like no, it's like she's like a bottom 10 character altogether. And it's kind of sad because I kind of miss that mechanic of her making other people go invisible. Moving on to the Kree team, because I want to cover all our minions today. We have Cyborg, Oreo, and Reaper. And don't forget these two also. Moving on. Mercenaries. Okay, Mercenaries is a fun team. I almost never forget these guys' names. This is a team that I really want to recognize because they're so much fun. Hydra Shield Guard right here. He's great throwing out those deflects. And Merc Soldier, his partner in crime, a great team. And of course, the Mercenary team wouldn't be complete without Skirmisher, Pursuer Guy, and Black Bolt. Really comes together. I mean, ultimately, we could use Shuri or Killmonger, but they've got a lot of other synergy with other teams right now. Sometimes I like to throw them on different hybrid defenses. Now, moving away from the minions and some of these older characters, I want to talk about some of the newer characters and the reworked characters that we don't, I'm not used to talking about all the time, like Peter Parker. Right? Just got that rework. He's becoming a very important character on the new Web Warriors. Speaking of Web Warriors, how about Miles? He's a great character. Lots of control in his kit. And of course, Ghost Spider. Ghost Spider is a fantastic character. I had to pay some money to unlock her, and I'm really looking forward to putting some more stars on her so that we can get her built up. If you are looking forward to Ghost Spider, I'm telling you, go hard in her blitz and unlock her. She's a great character, Ghost Spider. She's really fun to play with. Okay, and moving on to the new Warriors. This is important because I tend to get their names backwards, which is Cloak and Dagger, and of course Deathpool. Deathpool's a really fun character with that ping maneuver that is kind of outshining Black Bolt altogether. So anyway, I just wanted to mention these characters because sometimes I get their names wrong, and I know you guys get upset when I do that. I really don't want to upset you guys. I hope that you understand when I'm getting a name wrong, that you can figure out who I'm actually talking about. Okay, so moving on to my defense. We grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. Now this is my defense. And a lot of people are like, 7, show us your defense. We want to see how great it is. It's crap, guys. It's crap. I use absolute crap on defense, and you should too. We talk about this a lot. You want to make your offensive teams first, and then you try and put the best shine on the garbage that's left over. Now, I'm about 1,000 days, 14.5 million last time I checked. I don't know if that's accurate anymore. And I'm using this as a filler team, right? I don't expect it to get a DV. I expect them to have to use 1 energy to get this team finished off. I'm not going to make this team war ready because they're not worth making war ready. I thought about it, and then I just hate the Doc Ock Sinister 6 team. I like using Doc Ock on hybrids. I think he works better putting those deflects on other characters that you want to try and get some RNG value, that extra check against negative effects being applied to them. So obviously I could make this team war ready. I could probably do, well, actually the placement's probably pretty good on this. Let's see. Vulture as a raider, I like that. Skirmisher over here, that's good. I keep a skirmisher or two on the team because Mysterio calls assists and then can do a double tap, clearing positive effects. Raider over here because she's shooting lots of stuff. And then of course we got Green Goblin who just does some like defense down to one character on turn. It's a garbage team. I don't expect it to get a win. As is, this is like a C team. But I'm gonna give it an A because I didn't waste anything. All right, number 2 is the Skilletary defense. I use Black Widow on the Avengers defense, the Wave 1 Avengers team, and so I throw Killmonger in here, and you'll see my Mercs is different also. This team is something that I wish I had the time to build up and use on offense, but I'm not going to be able to get the proper T4s in this team, so I'm not going to use them on offense, so I'm just throwing it in, again, as a filler defense. I did make them war ready. They can catch some people off guard. There's not a lot of people who use this team on defense. And so sometimes I do actually still get some DVs with this. They see this lower number, all this purple gear, and they're like, oh, I'll roll right over it. And they don't understand how this team functions. They get those war bonuses and works pretty well. I can't recommend anybody else doing this unless you happen to be in the same situation where I just happen to have this team at this level. So I made them war ready, threw them in here as a filler. I do need to get some T4s. I do need to raise up their gear. It would be better on offense. As far as the ISOs go, I should probably be changing Killmonger to a Raider, but I had him as a striker on that Merc defense. I'm not going to waste the ISOs changing him. I may move him back to the Merc defense. Who knows? Otherwise, everything else is fine. You could make Yelena a skirmisher. I like her better as a Raider. And if you're going to run Black Widow on this team, Black Widow should be a skirmisher. She gets called for a lot of assists. This guy doesn't matter. He just needs to load in with that T4 passive. That's all you need to do. Okay, so for this team, again, there's some things I could do to make it better. Probably the one thing that really should happen is changing that ISO back to a Raider. I'm not sure if he even has Raider from them back in the Wakanda days, but there's something to be said there. So, I mean, really, it's kind of like, it's another meh team, like a C+ at best or anything. But since I'm not really wasting anything, I'm going to give it an A-. All right. Now, Wave 1 Avengers. Here we go. We have perfect placement, perfect ISOs, pretty good on the power levels. Captain America pulled 7 red stars, which really boosted his power level, and I used him for some event and raised him up. So there's nothing going to waste here. I'm not over-investing. It's another filler team. Nothing that can be done to really improve this other than maybe raising the rest of the value of the team, and it's not worth doing that for me at my level. So for me, that's another A. I'm doing pretty good today, aren't I? Okay. Here's another junk filler team. I could probably use Minerva on a different hybrid and get some value out of her. I would like to take Vision to level 5 Skirmisher so that his ability block sticks, but that's pretty expensive. I'm in that green ISO bottleneck real bad right now, so that's not gonna happen. I tried to get them all war ready. I was a long ways off on Star-Lord, so he needs to be war ready. So really, it's like if I get an influx of ions, I'll probably raise this team. I'm going for that triple and quadruple combo with Groot, Rocket, and Star-Lord on that. Decent placement. I put Groot over to the outside because on this build, I don't want him to die. On the Guardians build, you do kind of want him to die and hopefully revive and pass those positive effects to the rest of the team. This is a very old team. It's not worth building up. It's just something I had laying around. It's another filler team, and I haven't really wasted anything, but I've got a little ways to go, so there's some touch-ups I could make. So it's kind of like a B+ team, but you know, since I'm not wasting anything, I'm gonna give it an A-. Okay, Fantastic Four with She-Hulk. Let's see. I probably need to do a placement change with Mr. Fantastic, moving him to the outside. That definitely needs to happen. That's a mistake right there. I've got Skirmisher on those two, and Striker on these two, with Fortifier on She-Hulk. You could also make her a healer. You could also make her a Skirmisher. She doesn't have a lot of synergy with any of those. I just went Fortifier because I got 7 red stars on her, and I want people to be pissed off when they can't get through her. I get DVs with this team against Black Order. It's kind of fun when people, for some reason, think that Black Order is a good team to take against this. I almost think it was specifically designed to defend against the Black Order. So on a punch across, Black Order does not handle this team well. It's because of the negative effects that get thrown off of that team. She collects them and throws them back. So other than a placement change, this would be an A. So we're going to go A- on that team. All right, here's the Mercs. I've been kind of playing around with the Mercs, trying out some different things. I think I should probably go back to the Shuri Killmonger build to raise up the power level, but I'm also thinking about making Black Bolt Bullseye here a little bit bigger. I want to go, take him to, I want to take them all to gear tier 14, but I don't have, I don't have the resources. Also, this team is very old, so that would be a very stupid mistake. I don't think I should. I want to because I like this team. It's just fun. What we've got going on here is more a speed build. This guy and this guy are very fast, and then because it's a 5-man team of Mercs, it makes Taskmaster pop off that much faster. You can still get in front of them with a X-Force team, but if you don't knock one of them under 50%, that X-Force team is gonna die. Like you gotta make sure that works. And once you get up into the 600s, it's hard for that X-Force team to really do that on that Negasonic opening move. So it really depends. What do you have invested in your Negasonic? Do you want to take the chance? Because if it doesn't knock somebody under 50%, then with the speed of this team, X23 will not have the opportunity to land her ability block on Taskmaster and tear this team apart. So it still does catch some people off guard, but I really do need to balance out the power levels. And then this Skirmisher Striker combo is great. If I throw Shuri in here, I switch Merc Lieutenant to a Striker, but when she's not on here, I keep him as a healer to try and keep people topped off on the health. I'm actually considering maybe even taking this guy to a Fortifier, but he is one of the bigger members right now, so maybe not. So for me, this is actually a B. I need to invest a little bit more in this, and that would almost be a waste if I did invest in it, so it's a tricky situation to be in. Team number 7. This is something I was just kind of playing around with. It's a hero brawler build combined with the web warriors. I want to put in new tunes. New tunes always catch people off guard, and you can get some DVs because people don't understand how they work. Miss Marvel, of course, is a skirmisher. Everybody else is a striker. She is not a hero brawler, so that's why I kept her as a raider. She has great synergy with that raider ISO. We tried some other stuff in raids. You can make Miles a skirmisher and her a striker, and then she'll, on her special, she'll blind somebody, along with a bunch of other negative effects. But I didn't think that was quite worth it because it only works in raids, and you got to put a T4 in her basic and all sorts of other weird stuff. So this team is fine. It's something that I want to build up, right? I got to put some more power in here, but I'm waiting for the events to come around to dump my mats and my gold into characters like that. It's a back burner build. It's something fun. Nothing going wrong here. Hero Brawlers is just a team that you throw stuff into. It's a filler team. As long as you have Miss Marvel built up, you can throw in any Hero Brawler team and make something, right? It's probably gonna be beat. I like Captain Marvel in here because she's fast, opens up, and sometimes can clip somebody off. But of course, she's power crept and not that great of a character anyway. Not really anything we can do to improve this team. It is a filler team. It'd kind of be a waste to take it much higher other than the web brawlers or web warriors, which need to be web brawlers. That's kind of a neat name. I'll call it that. The web warriors need to be brought up a little bit more, and that's something I'm just going to be working on. So is what it is. It's an A team because there's nothing wrong with it, nothing really to do to improve it unless you wanted to take her out, but I think you get more value as a new player that people aren't used to going up against, keeping her in there and the synergy she has with those two. Team number 8, this is a Brotherhood Marauder combo. I took Doom off of this team because it was kind of a waste. People would come in with that X Factor and Rhino and just blow this team up with Doom on it. So I'm making them come in with that X Factor team to blow it up, but I'm not wasting my Doom on it. Strife as a fortifier, we got Skirmisher on Blob, retaliating and placing those vulnerables, Healer on Sinister, Raider on Magneto, and Toad as a Skirmisher. I need to bring Toad up to level 5 Skirmisher so he clears positive effects, and I need to bring Magneto up to War Ready levels so he gets the war bonuses. That's kind of a no-no on this team. They're the weak links. A team that does AoE damage could probably come in here and beat them up pretty good as long as you don't suffer too much from the blinds. So it's a good build. I recommend this build as a solid filler. Don't use Dr. Doom on it because it's a waste. They kind of have to use the same counter with or without Doom. So it's something to do. For me, this is a B-. That's actually kind of a big deal that those guys aren't war ready. Team number 9, here's my Doom and Doc Ock with a hybrid. I've got Squirrel Nuts in here as a cleanser. I've got Black Bolt in here because what else am I gonna do with him but, put him with Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo's helping keep this team alive. I mean, it's all about just keeping Doom alive and free of debuffs, right? Black Bolt, really, he's just, I don't know, he's a distraction really on this team. This is just something I threw together. I don't think it's a waste. I think it's going to work pretty well. I don't even know how people would go in to defeat this other than with 2 people that give ability blocks. you know? So you could ability block Squirrel Girl and then ability block Doom. And even then you've got Deflects coming off of Doc Ock, so it might not land. I hope it's frustrating. I hope somebody comes in with like an Eternals or a big punch down or something like that. That's kind of what I'm looking for, is a big punch down kind of team to take that. So for me, I think this is an A. I don't think there's much way to improve this without just kind of wasting resources. I don't think some of these characters are good enough to invest in. Maybe, maybe not. So let's say A minus, because I probably should take Squirrel Girl and Yo-Yo up to 14, but that's really kind of not on my to-do list. And team number 10 is the Heroes for Hire. We have perfect ISOs, perfect placement, a perfect level of investment, because this still requires you to come in with either an Eternals hybrid and punch down into it, or you got to come in with the Infinity Watch or a Omega Red Weapon X team. I don't think anybody should ever build this team more than 400 right now. I think this gets it done. You know, this requires a specific counter. It's a pain in the butt, and you got to deal with it. And this is the minimum you can invest in it with the perfect ISOs. So this is an A+ for me. Wow, really high scoring defense up today, wasn't it? Man, I mean, this guy just had it together. It's just a great defense all around. Not much to do to improve. So yeah, great score. Way to go, me. Really, guys, I use a lot of garbage on my defense, and I think you should too. I think there are lots of things that I could do to improve this, but there's other things that I'm working on offense, and I think that's how it is for everybody. You know, you got to balance, is this going to make a big enough difference? I mean, on this Merc team, I mean, really? Is it really worth investing in Bullseye and Korath? Like, those are crap tunes. I just, honestly, it's just my OCD of those purple circles. It kind of drives me nuts. I want the whole team to look all, you know, all decked out in gold. Anyway, this has been Defense Up of my roster. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.